Okay. There are seven primary leadership styles. Okay. 7 primary leaders. There are really 10 common leadership styles. So I'll just tell you what the 10 are, and you can tell me which one you think you are. There's the coaching leadership style. A coach is somebody who quickly recognizes the team member's strengths, weaknesses, and motivations to help them, motivates them to help them improve. That's the coach. Okay? There's the visionary leadership style. They have a powerful ability to drive the process and usher in periods of change by inspiring employees and earning the trust of new employees. There's servant leadership style. The servant leaders live by a people-first mindset and believe that when team members feel personally and professionally fulfilled, then they move more effectively and more regularly towards production and great work. There's the autocratic leadership style, also called the authoritarian. This type of leader is someone who is focused primarily on results and efficiency. They often make decisions alone or with a small trusted group, and they expect employees to do exactly what they're asked. Many of you yesterday told me those are the kind of people you work with. They're autocratic. There's the laissez-faire or hands-off leadership style, is the opposite. They basically delegate everything and let everybody do everything, and then they just sit back and watch and observe. There's the democratic or participative leadership style, where they use a combination of autocratic and laissez-faire. They basically let people make decisions, and they operate within a framework of those decisions, but they don't do all of the work themselves. They're not involved in everything. There's the pace setter leadership style. The pace setting style is one of the most effective for achieving fast results. Pace setter leaders are primarily focused on performance, often set high standards, and hold their team members accountable for achieving their goals. There's the transformational leadership style. The transformational leadership style is primarily to coach the style, similar to the coach style. The focus is on clear communication, goal setting, and employee motivation. But instead of placing the majority of energy into the employees or individuals' goals, the transformational leader is driven by a commitment to organizational objectives. The company is more important than the individual. There is also the transactional leadership style. The transactional leader is someone who is laser focused on performance. Similar to the pace setter, under this leadership style, the manager establishes predetermined incentives, usually in the form of monetary rewards. So if you do a good job, you get a little bonus or a bump. Okay. And last but not least is the bureaucratic leadership style. Bureaucratic leaders are similar to autocratic leaders in that they expect their team members to follow the rules and procedures precisely as written. Bureaucratic styles focus on fixed duties within a hierarchy where each employee has a set list of responsibilities, and there's little need for collaboration or creativity. Now, I'm going to just tell you from my experience, the last style is called bureaucratic leadership style. The one before that is the transactional leadership style. It's been my experience with many of the students and people that I've worked with on the motherland or on the continent of Africa. The bureaucratic leadership style is the one that is most utilized and referred to. So the bureaucratic leaders are who you are probably working with most often. If you think I'm correct, based on what I've just told you, let me do this. I'm gonna put this in the chat so you can see it. Can everybody see that? That's the bureaucratic leadership style. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you guys something that I think will help even more. I didn't prepare this before the class, which I should have, but that's okay. We can still get her done, as they say over here in America sometimes. Give me 1 second. Click the link and you can see the styles. Let me know if you can, everybody, if they can click the link. Ahmed, can you click that link, Ahmed? Whew, excuse me. All right, that gives you the leadership style. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Take a minute. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to give everybody 5 minutes. Go through and read the leadership styles. And then I'd like for you to put in the chat, which style do you think applies to you? Which style do you think applies to you? The link is in the chat, Romaine. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. There you go. I apologize. Okay, 5 minutes starting now. All right, as soon as you figure out which leadership style applies to you, go ahead and put it in the chat. But I'm going to wait 5 minutes. Got 4 more minutes. Okay, it's okay to have a combination, but if you say you've got a combination, be careful because some of these combinations can be difficult, but combinations are good. Let me say that combinations are good. Two more minutes. Let's get them in there. One more minute. Okay, all right, we got, everybody's got their information in there? Excuse me. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of democratic, we got a lot of visionary, we got a lot of coaching, and we've got some combinations, we got some visionaries. There is no wrong answer, but here's my suggestion. Understand that your leadership style, depending on the circumstances, needs to be flexible enough to change. You have to be willing to change. If you don't change, they won't change. So for them to change, you have to change. And you have to be able to adjust your leadership style based on the circumstances. If there's urgency in getting a project done, then you're going to have to be more of the pace setter or the autocratic leader because of time is of the essence. If there is a lot of time to get things done and you need a lot of collaboration, you need a lot of people to work together and talk through issues and problems, then you need more of the participatory or democratic style leadership and the servant style leadership philosophies to take place and dominate their participation. What happens many times is that we get so caught up in thinking about who we are and what we are that we forget that it's not about us, it's about them. And you can have any kind of leadership style that you want, but the question that I ask all of the leaders who tell me what their leadership style is, how effective is that in reaching the people that you've been entrusted to lead? How effective are you in communicating with them so that they understand what it is you're looking for from them? Are they responding to you in a way that helps you more efficiently and effectively get the work done? Or are you having problems getting them to respond to you because you're not reaching them, because they don't understand what it is you're looking for, what it is you want from them, and how they can give you what it is you want? That is a big issue in business. Some of you said to me yesterday that you are so frustrated with the people that you report to because they don't listen. They don't listen to you. They don't understand you. They don't understand what you want or what you expect from them, so that you can't give them what they expect from you. It's a two-way street when you're in leadership. It's not all about you. It's about the people that you've been entrusted to lead. You have to give them what they're looking for. You have to meet them where they are before you can take them to where you want them to be. And I saw a word in here that I hope nobody ever uses again after today. Please do not refer to people on your team as subordinates. The word subordinates is almost like saying that's my slave. The word subordinate is not a good word to utilize when you're in a leadership position. Think about it this way. One of the most famous companies in the world is Disney. Everybody heard of Disney? Their people that work for Disney are not called employees. They're not called staff. They are called cast members, because they're putting on a show from the time they step into the business to the time they go home. So they are members of the cast, not the staff, not the crew, not our subordinates, but our cast members. It's a position of respect. When you respect people, they will respect you back. When you don't respect people, they will not respect you. Now, I'm not picking on 10-2, but 10-2, you put the word subordinate in there. And here's where if you're referring to your employees as subordinates, they're not referring to you as a servant leader. Think about that. If you call me a subordinate, I'm not calling you a servant leader. Not going to happen. I'm going to call you a dictator, because you treated me just like somebody who you're dictating to. I'm your subordinate. I'm your boss. And that's not the way you intended it. I know that, but that's the way they receive it. That's their perception of your attitude and how you relate to them. So you have to be careful in your terminology that you utilize as a leader around these people. People are sensitive, and you have to acknowledge their sensitivity. As I also said, it's not always about your leadership style, because that will change. I'm going to put something else in the chat right now, and I'm going to give you another 5 minutes. There's the link. Click the link. This is about learning styles, because you have to be in tune to the learning style of the people that you lead. How do they process information? How do they understand or learn what it is you're trying to get them to understand or learn? Do they understand or learn it? Or does it go over their head? Excuse me. Excuse me. One more time, hold on. Does it go over their head, or do they ignore you because they just don't understand? and they're not going to try to understand it because it's of no value or substance to them. So how do they process information? Do you know? I will use myself as an example. The three main learning styles are visionary or visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. I am a kinesthetic learner. You can lecture me, you can show me pictures, you can let me listen to it via audiobook, but until I get a chance to touch it, feel it, take it apart, and play with it, I don't get it. I don't totally grasp it. I may grasp part of it, but I don't totally grasp it. Once I can play with it, once I can take it apart and fix it myself, now I feel better, more comfortable about it, and I can move on to the next level. But I've got to be able to be able to touch it. So go ahead. If you read the learning styles, put your learning style in the chat. Let me see your learning styles. I'm going to give you 5 minutes starting now. 4:34. At 4:40, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your learning style. So go ahead and put your learning style in the chat. How do you learn? How do you process information? Do you know how you learn or process information? Some people don't know. Excuse me. If you have a question about your learning style, unmute yourself and ask the question. Otherwise, I'm looking at, so visual, solitary, okay. Solitary is one of the secondary learning styles, but okay. A lot of people are like that. I'm somewhat like that too. I like to do things by myself. Visual, okay. Got a few more minutes. I'm gonna go off camera for a minute. Keep going, I'll be right back. Okay, everybody got it in? 4:39, there's one more minute. 4:40 now. Be there or be square. Okay. So as you can see, what I wanted you to see is to look at the chat and look at the variety of different learning styles just in this small group. No two are identical. They are similar, but there are very few that are totally identical. So when you're leading a group of people, think about how many different ways you have to deliver your message so that everybody understands what it is you're trying to accomplish, what it is that you're trying to get them to achieve, the direction that you're trying to go. How many different ways do you have to communicate it so that they get it? You know, there's this saying that says, communicate, communicate, communicate. And when you think you've communicated enough, communicate some more. Because people need to be able to process what it is you're putting down. And it doesn't happen easily or overnight. It takes time. They have to think through the situation. They need to understand what it is you're trying to get them to accomplish. So take the time to invest in understanding and studying the people you've been entrusted to lead. It will pay back dividends 100 times. See, what happens a lot of times with us is we are so engrossed in our own education about what's best for us. We miss the education in what's best for our people, what's best for the team. How do I get everybody inspired to find their motivation to do more? I don't believe that I can motivate anybody. I can inspire you to find your motivation, but I can't motivate you. Motivation comes from when here. You got to feel it. You got to want it. You got to go for it. And if you are that inspired that you feel that I can get this if I just go for it, then you're going to do much more than you would if I tried to take you there myself. Okay? All right. So I'm going to open up the mic, open up your mics. I want you guys to ask me questions. This is a lot of information to grasp. And I need for you to be able to ask the questions that you need to ask to make sure you understand, number one, what leadership style is all about. Number two, what learning styles are all about. And number three, how to bring the two together in the best possible situation. So unmute your mics and ask me any questions on this topic that you have.
Get there. Ready again now. Go watch it. Go watch the show.
Sylvester, are you talking to me or are you talking to somebody else?
No, but that I'm sorry.
That's okay. I used to have little children too. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any questions on leadership style and learning style? Does everybody understand why it's important to know both?
Yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
All right. Is there a possibility that we can have a combination of two learning styles that will be more effective? Or is it always the normal case you use one? But can we have a combination?
Everybody uses multiple learning styles. Nobody uses just one. Just like everybody uses multiple leadership styles. Should use multiple leadership styles based on the circumstances. But yes, most people use 2 to 3 learning styles at a time.
All right.
Great question. What other questions are out there? Come on, guys. This is your time, so use it wisely. I got a room full of 19 leaders, and I feel like I'm standing out in the bush at night, and all I hear is crickets.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Joel.
Okay, thank you. I really want to get the actual difference between uh, motivation and that of inspiration.
This is the world according to me. Your motivation is based on what's important to you. Your motivation is based on taking care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, or the things that mean the most to you. Inspiration means I can give you messages, ideas, or inferences that say, ooh, I can use that. Ooh, that's the attitude that I need. Ooh, that's the information I was looking for to help me get up, get moving, and do what I need to do. That inspiration motivated me to make a change. That inspiring message motivated me to do something different. That's the difference between motivation and inspiration. I can inspire you to find your motivation, but I can't put your motivation in you because I don't know what is important to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Francis.
Hello again, Dr. West. Hello?
Yes, Dr. West is my brother. I'm
Sorry about
okay.
that. I want to know, many people think that autocratic style of leadership is not a good style of leadership. And in my mind, I feel like it's important to be used at a certain point in time. So I want to know, at any point in time, is autocratic style of leadership necessary to be or used when leading a group of people? Is what I want to know.
Autocratic leadership, yes, it can be used, and there is a time and a place for it. The problem with autocratic leadership is if it's used too much, people rebel because it is a very abrasive leadership style. You use autocratic leadership style more in the case of an emergency, something that has to be done very quickly, very, very fast. Otherwise, something negative is going to happen. So my suggestion with autocratic leadership is more like a dictatorship. If you've ever worked in a situation where there's a dictator, that's how they operate. Do what I said, not what I do. Do it now because I said so. Don't ask me any questions, just get it done. No, you can't deviate from what I said. That's how I want it done. Just do it that way. That's autocratic, and that's not always a good thing. I hope that answered your question. Leroy.
Yeah, Doc. I want to find out about this kinesthetic learner. I mean, there are people who learn when they are doing things, by moving around, maybe doing some sport thing. How do they compromise learning in such a manner in a classroom or within a group? How do they do that? Because according to what I just read, they learn by moving. How can they do that?
I'm not sure I understand your question. Repeat your question.
I said the kinesthetic learning, the kinesthetic way of learning, people who learn by moving. How do they do that?
Well, I'll tell you, you don't always have to be fixing everything. Here's why I'm a kinesthetic learner. I do a lot of work on the computer. I go to a computer training where they teach you how to do it. But until I go back to my office and start trying to do it myself, I don't grasp all the concepts. I don't understand it. But once I go to my office and I start playing with the system and I start building things in the system for myself, now I understand it. Now I can go back to the next class and I can say, okay, I know what I'm doing now. But just listening to them or watching them, not good enough for me. Not good enough for me. Now I'm gonna say this to you, Leroy, and don't take this personal, it's more of a joke. You got the wrong jersey on, man. When you come to my class, you wear a Chelsea jersey. Don't put that Arsenal jersey on. Come on, man. Where are you from, Leroy?
Liberia.
Where?
Liberia.
You're in Liberia. Okay. One of my favorite players of all time was Didier Drogba. You know who Drogba was? He's a Chelsea man. He's from Nigeria, but okay. All right. What other questions do we have? Which supporting skills do you think are more important for a leader? Supporting skills important for a leader? It varies. I think a leader needs to be well-versed in all the skills. You're not going to apply all the skills all the time, but you need to know what they are. And you need to be able to call upon them when necessary. But if you can't call upon them, they're no good to you. I don't mean memorize them, but sometimes you're going to have a situation that comes up. I sent you information. You have to go home and read and say, who? You know what? I just talked to Velton today, and I'm a little confused. Let me go and look at these learning styles and see what kind of learning style he has. Or my boss was such a pain in the butt today. Let me go and see what kind of leadership style she was using today. And you can look at it, but then once you understand it, now you know how to deal with them the next day. You know how to go back and talk to them so that you're having a meaningful conversation versus two rams butting their heads against each other. Both leadership styles are important, leadership and learning style. Because if you are a leader, yes, leadership, but learning styles trump leadership styles every day. Learning styles are actually more important than leadership styles because, as I said in the beginning, it's not about you, it's about them. When you're worried about your leadership style, you're worried about yourself. You're not worried about the people around you. Other questions? You got 7 minutes and we'll be done. But I want to make sure that you get a chance to talk to me versus me talking to you. I did most of the talking in the beginning. Emma, you usually have a good question. I didn't see any questions from you today, Emma. I didn't hear from you either, Henrietta. Alfred, you still there? Cephas? I'm just calling out names because I haven't heard from you guys.